the power dilemma. Imagine, if you will, standing at the edge of a vast and ancient amphitheater. The sun is setting, casting long shadows across the worn stones. This is a place where the echoes of the past still whisper truths about human nature and power. In this quiet moment, you feel the weight of choices, like stones in your hand. Each one represents a path, a way to navigate the complexities of life and influence. Power, as you've observed in your own life, often presents itself as a seductive force. It beckons with promises of control, success, and admiration. Yet, as with everything alluring, there is a hidden cost. You may have heard of Niccolò Machiavelli, a figure synonymous with cunning and strategic manipulation. His name often invokes the idea of shrewdness, of bending others to one's will through clever guile. The Machiavellian approach suggests that power is a game won by those willing to outwit and outmaneuver others, regardless of the moral cost. But is this truly the only path to power? Is manipulation the necessary tool for leadership and influence? In this exploration, we will weigh this technique against Stoic principles, which offer a different, perhaps more fulfilling path. A path where power is not grasped through deceit, but embraced through wisdom and virtue. Machiavelli's world was one of political intrigue, a world where survival often depended on outsmarting rivals. In this context, his writings can be seen as pragmatic advice for those seeking to navigate a treacherous political landscape. His philosophy implies that the ends justify the means, and that moral considerations may be secondary to achieving one's goals. But imagine for a moment living in a world solely guided by such principles, a world where trust is scarce and every interaction is a potential battleground. It sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Continually wearing the armor of deceit takes a toll on the soul. It demands constant alertness and a readiness to sacrifice integrity for advantage. Contrast this with the teachings of Stoicism. Picture a Stoic philosopher, perhaps Marcus Aurelius, seated in his study writing his meditations by the soft glow of a lamp. His thoughts are not on outmaneuvering others, but on mastering himself. For the Stoic, true power comes not from the ability to control others, but from the ability to control oneself. It is about living in accordance with nature, understanding what is within your control and what is not, and aligning your actions with virtue. Think of the Stoic practice of differentiating between what is in your power and what is not. This simple but profound exercise teaches you to focus your energy on what you can change: your responses, your thoughts, your actions. Herein lies a kind of power that cannot be taken away. It is grounded in the understanding that your worth does not depend on external validation, but on your own integrity and inner peace. Imagine a river. It flows steadily, carving its path through the landscape. It does not hurry, nor does it alter its course for every obstacle it encounters. This is the nature of Stoic power. It is both patient and persistent, guided by principles rather than fleeting desires. In contrast, Machiavellian power might be more like a storm, intense, disruptive, and often destructive in its pursuit of immediate results. But once the storm passes, what remains? Usually, disruption and the need to rebuild. Let us consider a practical situation where these two philosophies diverge. Suppose you are leading a team at work. A Machiavellian approach might encourage you to manipulate outcomes to your favor, perhaps by spreading misinformation or playing team members against each other to achieve dominance. It might yield results, but at what cost? Trust erodes, and the team's cohesion falls apart. Now, picture applying Stoic principles instead. You focus on clear communication, transparency, and cultivating an environment of mutual respect. You lead by example, showing resilience and empathy. Over time, you build a team that is not only successful, but also cohesive and resilient. The power you hold is not one of coercion, but of inspiration. People follow not out of fear, but out of respect and shared values. This brings us to a deeper realization about what it means to wield power. The Stoic perspective suggests that the truest form of power does not lie in the ability to control others, but in the capacity to influence them through your own example. By embodying virtues such as wisdom, courage, and justice, you become a living testament to the principles you cherish. This form of influence is subtle yet profound, as it encourages others to seek these qualities within themselves. There's a calm strength in this type of leadership. It allows you to remain centered regardless of external chaos. You become like the eye of a storm, still and steady amidst the swirling winds of change. This is not to say the Stoic path is without its challenges. It requires patience, discipline, and a steadfast commitment to personal growth. But the rewards are enduring. Reflect for a moment on the idea of a life guided by integrity rather than manipulation. Imagine waking each day with a cleared conscience, knowing that your actions align with your values. There is freedom in this alignment. It releases you from the constant anxiety of maintaining false pretenses and from the fear of being discovered as inauthentic. In the end, both Stoicism and Machiavellianism offer paths to influence and power. Yet the Stoic path offers something more. It offers a way to live that is both powerful and peaceful. It allows you to stand firm not just in the face of others' actions, but in the face of your own reflections. It teaches you to find strength in vulnerability and to embrace humility as a form of wisdom. As you ponder the choices before you, remember the stones in your hand. Each represents a different path. Choose wisely, and you may find that the power you seek comes not from holding on to these stones tightly, but from knowing when to let go. Machiavelli's dark insight. Imagine a figure standing in the shadows, surveying the room with an air of calculated intent. This is not the quiet strength of a Stoic leader, but the sharp, watchful presence of someone steeped in Machiavellian philosophy. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Renaissance political thinker, has long been associated with the notion that the ends justify the means. His name conjures images of cunning, manipulation, and a willingness to use deceit to maintain power. Yet, is this truly the path to lasting influence and personal fulfillment? Machiavelli's insights, particularly as outlined in his work, The Prince, offer a stark contrast to the values of Stoicism. While the Stoic seeks harmony with nature and alignment with virtue, Machiavelli presents a more cynical view. He suggests that to achieve and hold power, one must be willing to act immorally if required. He advises rulers to be feared rather than loved, if they cannot be both. This view reflects a belief that the world is a treacherous place, demanding a strategic and often ruthless approach to leadership. Let us pause to consider this perspective. Picture a leader who adheres strictly to Machiavellian principles. They might view their relationships as mere transactions, alliances to be broken when no longer beneficial. In such a world, every smile could mask ulterior motives, every handshake a potential betrayal. This creates a perpetual cycle of suspicion and pretense, where trust is scarce and the anxiety of losing control is constant. Yet, why does this approach hold such a lure? Perhaps it is the promise of tangible, immediate results. In a world where success is often measured by wealth, status, or power, the Machiavellian path seems straightforward. It offers a blueprint for navigating complex social landscapes and gaining advantage, even if it means compromising one's integrity. It is a strategy that appeals to the part of us that fears vulnerability, that worries about being outmaneuvered or left behind. But beneath this veneer of success, what does the Machiavellian truly gain? The Stoics would argue that in seeking control over others, one loses the most vital form of control, over oneself. When you engage in deception, you become entrapped in your web of lies. The energy spent on maintaining a facade detracts from the pursuit of genuine virtue. And while you may command fear, you do not earn genuine respect or loyalty, which are the foundations of lasting influence. Imagine now the same leader choosing a different path, one informed by Stoic principles. Instead of viewing others as pawns in a game of power, they see them as fellow travelers on life's journey. Such a leader values honesty, not because it is expedient, but because it aligns with their core values. They understand that influence gained through respect and trust is far more sustainable than that gained through coercion or deceit. Reflect on Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a devoted Stoic who led with a sense of duty and compassion. His meditations reveal a man committed to personal and political integrity, focusing on self-improvement and the greater good. Unlike the Machiavellian ruler, Marcus sought to lead by example, knowing that his actions would speak louder than any decree or command. His reign is remembered not for its cunning or manipulation, but for its moral clarity and strength. So, where does this leave us in our understanding of power and influence? In comparing Machiavellianism with Stoicism, we find a deeper question. What kind of legacy do you wish to leave behind? Is it one of fear and fleeting dominance, or one of respect and enduring impact? The Stoic path, though more challenging, offers a sense of peace that Machiavellian strategies cannot provide. It invites you to focus on what is within your control, your thoughts, your actions, and your character. Consider the practical implications of choosing Stoicism over Machiavellianism in everyday life. In your interactions, strive for authenticity. Let your words and actions reflect your true intentions rather than disguising them. When faced with conflict, seek resolution through understanding and dialogue, not through manipulation or deceit. This does not mean that you should be naive or ignore the complexities of human nature. Rather, it means choosing to act with integrity even when it is difficult. Picture a scenario at work where you have the opportunity to undermine a colleague for personal gain. The Machiavellian choice would be to seize this opportunity, perhaps justifying it as a necessary step towards advancement. The Stoic choice, however, involves considering the broader impact of your actions. By supporting your colleague and fostering a collaborative environment, you build a foundation of trust and mutual respect that can lead to greater, shared success. Such choices require courage and the willingness to face consequences without resorting to compromise on your values. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, reminds us that no evil propensity of the human heart is so powerful that it may not be subdued by discipline. This discipline is at the heart of Stoicism, urging us to rise above our baser instincts and choose a path of virtue. In the end, the allure of Machiavellian strategy is its promise of control. But true power, as the Stoics see it, lies not in the ability to control others, but in mastering one's self. It is about finding freedom in the acceptance of what is, and peace in the pursuit of what ought to be. By embracing this inner strength, you create not only a more fulfilling personal life, but also a more harmonious world around you. As you think about the paths before you, remember that every choice is a step towards shaping your character. Whether you lean towards the dark insights of Machiavelli or the light of Stoicism, each decision molds the essence of who you are and how you are remembered. Choose wisely and let your life be a testament to the values you hold dear. Stoic Foundations. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path, worn and shadowed, offers the promise of swift rewards through cunning and manipulation. The other, less traveled, is illuminated by principles of integrity and inner peace. This is the choice between Machiavellianism and Stoicism. While the former might seduce you with notions of power over others, the latter invites you to power over yourself. Stoicism, as a philosophy, is not about detachment from the world, but engagement with it through a lens of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are the four cardinal virtues that anchor the Stoic way of life. To live in accordance with these virtues means to align one's actions with nature and reason, to nurture a life of ethical consistency. Let us consider wisdom first. For the Stoics, wisdom is not just knowledge or information, but the discernment of what is truly valuable. It involves seeing the world clearly without the fog of passions that obscure judgment. When confronted with a conflict at work or a difficult decision in your personal life, wisdom guides you to pause, reflect, and choose actions that are in harmony with your values. Picture a heated argument where emotions run high. The Machiavellian might exploit this chaos to gain the upper hand. A Stoic, however, would seek understanding and clarity, listening first and responding with measured thought. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, often reminded himself that the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This mindset encourages setting aside immediate reactions for a more thoughtful, principled approach. Next, consider courage. Stoic courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act rightly despite it. Life inevitably presents us with challenges and uncertainties. The courage to face these with dignity and to hold firm to your principles, even when it is uncomfortable or inconvenient, is a hallmark of Stoic strength. This is not bravado or reckless bravery, but a calm fortitude that comes from a deep inner conviction. Imagine a scenario where you are pressured to cut ethical corners in your work. The easy way out is to conform to these demands, capitalizing on the Machiavellian tactic of bending rules for personal gain. But a Stoic would confront such pressure, knowing that courage is about staying true to what is right, regardless of the consequences. By doing so, you not only preserve your integrity, but also inspire others to uphold theirs. Justice is the third virtue. For the Stoics, justice goes beyond legal fairness. It is about living in harmony with others and contributing to the common good. It means recognizing the inherent worth of all individuals, treating each person with respect and empathy. The Machiavellian approach often sees people as pawns to be maneuvered. In contrast, Stoicism teaches us to see them as partners in the search for collective well-being. Think of how you interact with those around you. Are your actions supportive and empathetic, or are they calculated for personal advantage? A Stoic mindset encourages you to build genuine connections based on fairness and reciprocity. This not only enriches your own life, but also strengthens the fabric of the communities you are a part of. Finally, there is temperance, the virtue of self-control and moderation. In a world that often celebrates excess, temperance teaches restraint. It is about finding balance in desires and impulses, ensuring they do not lead you astray from what truly matters. A Machiavellian might indulge every whim, seeing this as a demonstration of power and freedom. But the Stoic knows that true freedom lies in mastering oneself, not being a slave to desires. Imagine the choices you make in everyday life, whether it's dietary habits, spending, or emotional reactions. Stoicism asks you to reflect and choose moderation, understanding that excess in any form leads to imbalance and discontent. By exercising temperance, you cultivate a peace that comes not from having more, but from needing less. These virtues are interconnected and together form a guide for living a fulfilling life. They remind you that your greatest task is not to conquer others, but to conquer yourself. As Epictetus, another Stoic thinker, observed, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By focusing on your internal state, you gain the strength to navigate the external world with grace and resilience. Stoicism is not a call to passive acceptance, but to active engagement with life as it is. It teaches you to shift your focus from what you cannot control to what you can: your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. This shift empowers you to find tranquility even amid turmoil, to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than burdens to avoid. Throughout your life, you will encounter many who choose the Machiavellian way, believing it to be the path to success and happiness. They may achieve short-term gains, but these are often hollow victories. The Stoic path, while demanding more patience and self-reflection, offers rewards that endure and enrich. You may ask, how do we practically embody these Stoic principles in our lives? Begin with small, deliberate actions. Practice gratitude daily, recognizing the gifts you already possess, rather than constantly seeking more. Embrace the present moment, understanding that it is the only time you truly have. Reflect regularly on your choices and their alignment with your values. When conflicts arise, see them as chances to exercise patience and kindness. As you integrate these practices, remember that Stoicism is not about achieving perfection. It is about progress, about striving continuously to live with virtue and to rise above the transient allure of manipulation and deceit. Each day offers a new opportunity to act with integrity, to develop wisdom, and to cultivate a character that you can be proud of. In choosing Stoicism, you choose a life where inner peace is more valuable than external power, where fulfillment comes from living ethically and authentically. This is not an easy path, but it is one that leads to a deeper, more lasting happiness than any Machiavellian scheme can offer. Your life, crafted by the choices you make, becomes a testament to this enduring philosophy, a beacon of calm in a chaotic world. Control versus influence. Imagine standing at a crossroads where two distinct paths lie before you. One, a road heavily traveled, marked by the footprints of those who seek to dominate and control. This is the way of Machiavellianism, a path shrouded in manipulation and cunning, where influence is wielded as a weapon and people are seen as mere pawns in a larger game. The other path, less worn and quietly beckoning, is the path of Stoicism. This is the path of influence over control, where power is not seized, but rather grows from within, built on the foundation of self-mastery and understanding. We might wonder, what is the difference between control and influence in this context? Control implies a direct hold over circumstances and people, a desire to mold the world to one's will through force, deception, or sheer power. It is an illusion, as the world is far too complex and ever-changing to truly be controlled by any one person. Influence, on the other hand, is the gentle shaping of events through personal integrity and the power of example. It is the understanding that true power lies not in bending others to your will, but in aligning your will with nature and virtue. Consider the teachings of Epictetus, who reminds us that some things are within our power and others are not. This simple truth is often overlooked by those who seek control, as they become entangled in the pursuit of things beyond their grasp. Power over others, for instance, is a fleeting illusion. Even if achieved, it is rarely stable, as it depends on external factors that can shift like the winds. The Stoic approach, however, focuses on self-control, the control of our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. This is the only true control we have, and it is from this inner mastery that genuine influence arises. Reflect on a moment in your life when you tried to control an outcome, perhaps in a relationship or at work. Think about the stress, the frustration, and the sense of futility that often accompanied such attempts. Now, contrast this with a time when you led by example, when your actions inspired others not through force, but through authenticity and respect. The peace and satisfaction that come from the latter are a testament to the power of influence over control. Let us delve into a story to illustrate this further. Imagine a leader of a small community, someone who has inherited their position not through choice, but through necessity. This leader faces many challenges, disputes among the people, external threats, and the constant pressure to maintain harmony. If they choose the Machiavellian way, they might resort to deception, sowing fear to maintain order, manipulating alliances through intimidation. And yet, this leader sees the long-term costs. Trust erodes, resentment builds, and the community's foundation weakens over time. Instead, envision this leader choosing the Stoic path. They focus on leading by example, demonstrating virtues such as courage, justice, and temperance. When conflicts arise, they listen with empathy, seek to understand differing viewpoints, and act with fairness. They do not shy away from difficult decisions, but make them with a clear conscience and a focus on the greater good. Slowly, influence grows, not from fear, but from respect. The community sees this leader's steadiness, and in turn, they mirror these virtues. Peace is maintained not through coercion, but through shared values and mutual understanding. This story is not mere fiction. Throughout history, leaders who have embodied Stoic principles have left lasting legacies, not through conquest, but through cultivating communities grounded in moral strength. Their influence outlives their physical presence, creating ripples that extend far beyond their immediate reach. For you, embracing Stoicism means recognizing where your true power lies. It is not in controlling others, but in the ability to influence through the example you set. In your daily life, this might mean practicing patience when others lose their temper, showing kindness in the face of hostility, or maintaining composure when chaos surrounds you. The impact of these actions, although subtle and often overlooked, can be profound. Remember, when you let go of the desire to control outcomes, you release the burden of anxiety that accompanies such a quest. Instead, you shift your focus inward, where your influence can be cultivated and expanded. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, often reflected on the transience of life and the importance of aligning one's actions with nature. He knew that the only lasting influence comes from living in harmony with the principles of virtue and reason. The Stoic path is not without its challenges. It requires a willingness to confront your own weaknesses, to accept your limits, and to persevere in the face of adversity. Yet it is precisely this difficulty that makes the path worthwhile. As you grow in wisdom and character, you naturally begin to influence those around you, guiding without needing to control, leading without needing to dominate. In choosing to focus on what you can control, your own mind and actions, you cease to be a prisoner of circumstances. You become a beacon of calm and wisdom, influencing others through the quiet strength of your example. This is the essence of Stoic influence, a power that does not seek to overshadow, but to illuminate. As you walk this path, remember that true influence is not measured by the number of people you control, but by the depth of integrity with which you live each day. In the end, the choice is yours. Will you pursue the fleeting satisfaction of control or the enduring peace of influence? The Stoic path, though less traveled, offers a life rich in meaning and fulfillment. May you walk it with courage and clarity, allowing your influence to shine as a testament to the power of living with virtue and purpose. Inner strength over strategy. Picture a river flowing steadily through a rocky valley. Its path is not dictated by the stones it encounters, but rather by its own relentless current, finding a way to continue forward despite any obstacles. This is the essence of Stoicism. It teaches us to embrace an inner strength that guides us through life's unpredictable challenges, rather than relying on calculated strategies that may falter in the face of adversity. Imagine now the contrasting approach of Machiavellianism, a philosophy that often emphasizes the use of cunning strategies and manipulation to achieve one's goals. This way of thinking suggests that power is attained and maintained through control of others, through a careful orchestration of events and people, much like a puppeteer manipulating marionettes. It promises success through external domination, but often neglects the internal turmoil and ethical compromises that accompany such a path. Consider the pressures and anxieties that come with living a life driven by strategic manipulation. You become vigilant, always on guard, anticipating the next move, bound by the same pressures you impose on others. Just as a puppet master never truly rests, neither can someone whose influence depends on constant manipulation and control. There's a never-ending cycle of plotting and adjusting, which can become exhausting, leaving little room for genuine peace or happiness. Now let us turn to the Stoic, who is like the river, flowing with purpose, not constrained by external conditions. Inner strength, according to Stoicism, is derived from a deep understanding of oneself and the world around you. It is grounded in the acceptance of things you cannot control and a focus on what you can, your own thoughts and actions. This freedom from the need to control others liberates you from the anxiety of external circumstances. Epictetus, another venerable Stoic philosopher, taught that we should focus on what truly belongs to us, our intentions, our desires, our aversions. By concentrating on these, we build a fortress of inner strength that cannot be breached by external forces. This strength becomes evident in the way we respond to adversity. Instead of reacting with fear or anger, a Stoic responds with calm and reasoned consideration. Let's take a practical example from daily life. Imagine you are at work and a colleague is spreading rumors about you to gain favor with the boss. A Machiavellian approach might involve concocting a strategy to undermine this colleague, perhaps by counter-rumors or strategic alliances. But such actions only add tension and stress, potentially compromising your values and peace of mind. The Stoic approach, however, would remind you to focus on your own conduct. Speak truthfully and consistently, do your work with integrity. Let your actions prove your character over time. By maintaining your inner strength and virtue, you influence the environment around you without engaging in the same futile and destructive games. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself and others that what truly matters is how we respond to situations, not the situations themselves. This way of living fosters resilience. You become less affected by the whims and actions of those around you, finding strength in your own principles. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to others, but rather you engage with the world from a place of strength and clarity, rather than from fear or insecurity. You can navigate challenges with poise, not because you have figured out every possible outcome, but because you trust in your ability to manage whatever comes your way. Reflect on the significance of inner strength over strategy in your personal relationships. When faced with conflict, the temptation might be to manipulate or strategize to win the argument or gain the upper hand. But what if instead you approach these moments with open-heartedness and honesty? By listening deeply and responding with empathy, you not only resolve conflicts more effectively, but you also build trust and deepen connections. Your relationships become richer and more authentic, nourished by mutual respect and understanding. The path of Stoicism asks you to look inward, to cultivate a garden of virtues within yourself. Courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance become the guiding stars that lead you through life's complexities. These virtues are not static. They grow and strengthen with practice and application. As you nurture them, your perspective broadens, and your sense of self becomes more secure, less vulnerable to the shifting sands of external circumstances. It is in this cultivation of inner strength that you find a profound sense of freedom. Free from the chains of fear and manipulation, you move through life with a sense of genuine purpose. Your influence is not the brittle power that comes from controlling others, but the enduring strength of being true to yourself. This is the kind of influence that transforms not only your life, but the lives of those you touch, creating ripples of positive change. In choosing inner strength over strategy, you embark on a journey that is deeply rewarding. You learn to see the world not as a battlefield, but as a canvas where you can express your highest self. Challenges become opportunities for growth rather than threats to be neutralized. You realize that true power comes from within, not from the fleeting ability to manipulate external outcomes. As you continue to walk the Stoic path, remember that every decision, every action is a chance to exercise your inner strength. In doing so, you become like that steady river, unwavering and true, carving your path through life with wisdom and grace. Let this be your guiding principle. Seek not to control the world, but to control yourself. And in doing so, you will find a strength that is both enduring and transformative. Peace in practice. Imagine standing on the shore of a tranquil lake. The water is still, perfectly reflecting the sky above. Now, envision tossing a stone into it. The ripples spread outwards, touching everything in their path. This is how your actions, grounded in inner peace, influence the world around you. Stoicism teaches that true peace begins not from altering external circumstances, but from cultivating internal harmony. Peace is not merely the absence of conflict. It is an active state of being, a dynamic balance that requires consistent nurturing. In the Stoic tradition, peace arises from living in accordance with nature, from accepting life as it is, not as you wish it to be. This acceptance does not mean passive resignation. Rather, it is a powerful acknowledgement of reality. You recognize the limits of your control and focus your energy on what truly matters, your thoughts, your choices, and your reactions. Consider Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who spent much of his life embroiled in political turmoil and war. Despite his external challenges, he found profound peace within himself. In his writings, he reminds us to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. This is the essence of Stoic peace, a steadfast resilience in the face of life's storms. To practice peace is to engage with life from a place of calm strength. Begin by examining your daily routines. How often do you find yourself reacting to situations with anxiety or frustration? These emotional responses often arise when we feel threatened, when we cling to our desires or fear loss. By cultivating the Stoic virtues of wisdom and temperance, you can learn to navigate these emotions, transforming them into opportunities for growth. Picture a conversation where tension is rising. Voices become sharper, words more pointed. Now, imagine stepping back mentally, taking a deep breath, and choosing your response from a place of calm consideration. This is peace in practice. You are not simply staying silent to avoid conflict. You are actively choosing to respond with wisdom and patience. By doing so, you diffuse the tension, creating space for understanding and connection. The practice of peace requires continual reflection. Journaling can be a valuable tool here. At the end of each day, write about moments when you felt at peace and others when you did not. What were the circumstances? How did you react? What might you do differently next time? This process of reflection deepens your self-awareness and strengthens your capacity for peaceful living. Over time, you will notice that peace becomes your default state. When challenges arise, you will find yourself more centered, more capable of responding with grace. This is not to say that you will never feel anger or frustration. These are natural human emotions. However, peace in practice means you are no longer controlled by them. You acknowledge their presence, understand their source, and let them pass without being swept away. It is essential to remember that Stoicism is a path, not a destination. Each day offers new opportunities to practice peace, to grow in virtue. You will falter, as all humans do, but these moments are not failures. Rather, they are chances to learn, to recommit to your principles. Imagine again the tranquil lake. Each day you throw a stone into it. Some days the stone is small, the ripples gentle. Other days the stone is large, the ripples more disruptive. Yet the lake always returns to stillness, reflecting the sky as clearly as before. So too will you find your equilibrium, returning to peace after each disturbance. As you embrace this practice, consider sharing your journey with others. Encourage them to explore Stoic principles and their transformative power. And if you find value in this path, subscribe to this channel for more insights on Stoicism and its practical application. Returning to peace, consider the role of gratitude. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you cultivate a mindset of abundance. This shift in perspective is profound. It opens your heart, allowing you to appreciate the beauty in the ordinary. As Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Gratitude anchors you in the present, freeing you from the constant chase of desires that can never truly satisfy. To practice gratitude, start small. Each morning identify 3 things you are thankful for. Reflect on them, savor them. Let this practice ground you. Over time, you will find that gratitude becomes a natural part of your thinking, infusing your life with peace and contentment. Another key aspect of peace in practice is learning to forgive. Holding on to grudges can be like carrying a heavy stone in your heart. It weighs you down, clouding your judgment and stealing your joy. Forgiveness is not about condoning wrong behavior. It is about freeing yourself from the burden of anger. By letting go, you reclaim your peace. Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us that we are disturbed not by things, but by the views which we take of them. This insight is crucial for practicing peace. It is not the events in our lives that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. Changing your perspective can transform your experience, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Consider a personal setback, perhaps a job loss or a failed relationship. Initially, it may feel like a blow, a source of pain. But with time and reflection, you might see it as an opportunity, a chance to realign with your true values and goals. This shift in perspective is not about denying your pain, but about finding meaning and growth within it. Peace in practice also involves setting healthy boundaries. Just as you would not allow toxic substances into your body, do not allow toxic influences into your mind. Whether it's negative people, harmful news, or destructive habits, be vigilant about what you allow into your mental space. Protect your peace by cultivating environments that support your growth and well-being. As you weave these practices into your daily life, you will find that peace is not a distant ideal, but a present reality. It is a state of being that you can cultivate, moment by moment, through conscious choice. The ripples of your peace touch everything around you, creating a more harmonious world. In the end, peace is a practice, a daily commitment to live with intention, to choose understanding over conflict, gratitude over scarcity, and love over fear. This is the power of Stoicism, a philosophy not just to be studied, but to be lived. Let your life be a testament to this peace, reflecting back the beauty and stillness of the sky. Living the Stoic Way. Imagine standing on a quiet hillside, looking out over a landscape touched by the soft light of dusk. The world is calming around you, and you feel the gentle pull of the earth beneath your feet. In this moment, you understand the essence of living the Stoic Way. It is about harmony, not only with the world around you, but, more importantly, within yourself. Living the Stoic Way is not about retreating from life. It is about engaging with it fully, with courage and clarity. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often reflected on the idea of living in accordance with nature. For him, this meant aligning your inner self with the natural order of things, embracing the ups and downs as natural parts of existence, much like the changing seasons. Picture a river flowing steadily over rocks and around bends. It does not resist the obstacles it encounters. Instead, it finds a way through or around them, adapting to the landscape. This is how Stoics approach life's challenges. Rather than resisting what cannot be controlled, learn to flow with it, to adapt and find your path through the obstacles. Think about a day in your life when everything seemed to conspire against you. A missed bus, a sudden downpour, an unexpected argument. In these moments, how often do we rail against fate, wishing things were different? Yet the Stoic Way invites us to pause, to breathe, and to accept reality as it is. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means freeing yourself from the suffering of wishing circumstances were other than they are. Epictetus taught that some things are within our control and others are not. He urged us to focus our energy on what is within our control, our thoughts, reactions, and choices. By doing so, we conserve our energy for what truly matters and stop wasting it on things beyond our grasp. Consider the notion of inner freedom, a core tenet of Stoicism. This freedom does not depend on external circumstances, but arises from how you choose to respond to them. Imagine being in a crowded room full of noise and chaos. Yet within this chaos, you can find stillness, a quiet center where you remain calm and composed. This inner sanctuary is always available to you, no matter what storms rage outside. Living the Stoic Way also involves practicing gratitude. It is easy to focus on what we lack or what has gone wrong, but gratitude shifts our perspective. By appreciating what we do have, we open ourselves to a wealth of abundance. Each morning as you rise, consider adopting the Stoic practice of reflecting on what you are thankful for. It could be as simple as the breath in your lungs or the warmth of the sun. Gratitude practiced regularly shapes your mind and heart toward joy. Imagine tending to a garden. You must nurture the plants, water them, and protect them from weeds. So too must you tend to your own soul. Each act of kindness, each moment of reflection, is like a seed that grows into a vibrant garden of inner peace. This garden becomes not only a refuge for you, but a source of inspiration for others. In the Stoic way, there is a profound respect for time. Seneca reminded us that time is the one resource we can never get back. Spend it wisely, he urged, on things that truly matter. Think about how often we fritter away our precious hours on trivial pursuits, scrolling endlessly through feeds or worrying about inconsequential matters. By being mindful of your time, you align your days with your values, ensuring that your actions reflect what is most important to you. This mindfulness extends to your interactions with others. Stoics believe in the interconnectedness of all people, a shared humanity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." Our actions have ripple effects, impacting not only those around us, but the broader world. By approaching others with empathy and understanding, you contribute to a more compassionate society. Picture a craftsman carefully shaping a piece of clay. Each deliberate motion refines the form, bringing it closer to a vision of beauty. Your life is like this piece of clay, shaped by your actions and intentions. Each choice you make is an opportunity to mold your character, to refine your virtues. Imagine living with courage, not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. Courage allows you to face the unknown with a calm heart, knowing that whatever comes, you possess the inner strength to handle it. This is the quiet power of the Stoic way, a strength that is unshakable because it is rooted within. As you contemplate these principles, remember that living the Stoic way is a daily practice. It is not about achieving perfection, but making small, consistent choices that align with your highest self. It is about being present, accepting what comes with grace, and acting with integrity. In moments of doubt, return to the image of the river, flowing yet constant, adapting yet unwavering in its course. This is your path, shaped by wisdom and resilience. Let your life reflect this understanding, and let your actions speak of peace and purpose. As we conclude this exploration of Stoicism versus the manipulative strategies of dark psychology, take a moment to reflect on the wisdom of the Stoics. Let their ancient teachings guide you toward a life of clarity, balance, and profound fulfillment. If this resonates with you, consider subscribing for more insights into living with intention and depth. May your journey be one of quiet strength and enduring peace.